Next week's presentation is offered by Colette Clavendisher, butcher her name, I believe. Lakeside Little Theater, Through the Pandemic and What is in Store. COVID has had its effect on the entertainment industry globally, and Lakeside is no exception. Lakeside Little Theater, the LLT, the oldest English language theater in Mexico, has tried to keep people in the loop through the last 18 months. Come and find out how the theater is managed during this difficult period and the plans for navigating the future. You will also hear about the great shows that are coming up at LLT. Claudette is the president, and she has been since 2018. She was a board member in various positions since 2013 and has acted in performances since arriving at Lakeside in 2010 and directed 2 plays in recent seasons. So join us for that, because LLT brings such richness to this community. Even if you don't go, you know you could go. That's what I say. I could be cultured. I may not be, but I could be. So I like that I live here. Anyway, she'll be here next week. This week's presentation, your post-life and emergency registry form. Most healthcare emergencies involve many people. Some are known to you, some are not. The more information they have, the better your outcome. The process of handling a death in Mexico is very different from one north of the border. Whether you're here full-time, part-time, or just visiting, registering your 2-page, it's just 2 pages, LCS post-life and emergency document will make a difference in your quality of life and death. Instructor Loretta Downs, MA, CSA, is a gerontologist, a thanatologist, and certified senior advisor whose mission is to educate people on how to improve the end-of-life process. You've maybe seen her give different talks about different aspects of dying over the years. She usually does at least 1 talk a year, so we're very lucky to have her here. This open circle presentation is an introduction to her upcoming 2-part workshop, and that will give you the valuable information, guidance, and motivation to complete your emergency registry document. The 2-part session will follow will be on Thursday, November 11th and 18th, and we'll mention these dates again. So Thursday, November 11th and 18th from 11 to 1 o'clock, and I believe it's probably, the time is from 10 to 12, and we'll be here. It will be in the gazebo, okay? So these are very important things. So let us get on with our program and welcome Loretta Downs.
Sound check. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Oh, this is very gratifying. I have to thank you because giving this also motivated me to review all of my end-of-life preparations, and I have a few more things to do. There's always more to do, isn't there? That endless to-do list, but it's good. Since 1985, when my first friend died of AIDS, I have found myself drawn to companion people who are living the end of their lives. And I have sat at the bedside of an awful lot of people and an awful lot of their family and loved ones. And it's taught me that my mission in life is to create opportunities like this one to talk about dying and death in positive terms. You know, from the moment we're born, we have an expiration date. We have a contract with life to die. We don't know when that's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And it benefits us to create a positive relationship with dying. You know, not only for ourselves, but for all the people we love who are going to need our support. I'm going to talk today about why bother, why bother doing post-life planning. And I'm going to talk about the wonderful forms that we have here and how to get them, how to access it, and the booklet, the forms, and then I'm going to give you some closing, I hope, inspiration. So here we go. James Hollis, the psychoanalyst, wrote, "Learning to live with ambiguity is learning to live with how life really is, full of complexities and surprises." Now, there are only a couple ways basically die, and one is knowing you're going to, which is a gift because you can prepare, although you're mostly out of energy to do preparation at that point in time. And the other way is suddenly, which, I hear all the time, oh, I want to die suddenly, I want to go to sleep and not wake up. Well, that's really good for you, but it's not very good for the people who have to take care of your aftermath, is it? How many of you have had to deal with an after death of someone else? Oh yeah, we're all there, aren't we? I mean, I know a woman who drove around with her brother's ashes in the trunk of her car for 3 years because he didn't tell her what to do with them. And she only got them because she was the only living relative. And after 3 years, one day she had developed such an anger about this that she stopped in an alley and just put the box in someone's trash can. Now, maybe he deserved that, but she did not deserve 3 years of anxiety wondering what to do with them. So that's just a small thing. Personal growth comes with challenge. I think most of us grow when we have a crisis or a big change in our life. Somebody dies, you get divorced, you move, you get sick. That forces us to have a relationship challenge. It forces growth. Just thinking about dying and doing this preparation is a way to grow. It's a way to develop peace in our lives. I mean, we may be the Olympians of aging here. I think we are. I mean, look at us. We're all of advanced years. I mean, I've got a new hip and new eyes. We all have, we think we're bionic. But it's really a quality of life issue to think about the quality of death you want. You think about what matters most when you process your dying experience. There is a real official death positive movement out there. Death positive. And if you Google death positive movement, you'll find a lot of things. Google, we live in the time of Google. Oh my God, what a bunch of help that is for us. So, okay. Oh, a joke, of course. Here we go. Why bother? Oh, this woman of faith was sitting in church one day, or a man of faith, and they'd lost their job. And they were bowed down, praying furiously, oh God, make me win the lottery. I really need a lot of help. And went on, and the prayer ended, and they felt heard, and they left church, and in that week, nothing happened. Back to church, on the knees, going, oh God, please, I'm going to lose my car, my house. Please make me win the lottery. Feeling heard, they went home. Came back a week later, no winning. Got down on their knees, and this booming voice shouted out, help me out, buy a ticket. So help everybody out. Do some advanced care planning. This wonderful little booklet is given free to anyone from LCS. You don't have to be a member. Although membership is really a benefit, we are so fortunate to have this organization here. It's been around we are so, I have friends coming to visit, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do with them? And I went on the website, and there's so many things I can send them to, and I can take advantage of. And the membership doesn't cost a lot. You can get monthly membership if you have visitors. That would be helpful. It's per person, not per couple. And we need to support the community, and this is a good and easy way to do it. The cafe is fabulous. They have live music going, and they have me speaking once a year at Open Circle. So I think, I love it here. When I moved last year, I became permanent in Mexico, and my executor quit. So I don't want to deal with that. A good thing about being able to do your death planning in advance, you can change your mind. You can fix things. 20 years ago, I was living with someone. We bought a house together. I thought it was going to be forever. Well, it wasn't. And a few years after we split up, I got a call from my financial planner. We're updating your IRA, and we want you to check your beneficiary. And I had him down. I said, oh my God, if I died, he and his new wife would have a summer house on me. So, when we think we've done this and put it all away, maybe we haven't. Doing end-of-life planning is a dynamic process. It goes on and on. It changes as we change. Our relationships change. And dying in Mexico is different than dying in the North. I mean, there's some things you just have to know about dying here. This booklet, we have 50 copies to hand out at the end, and one per household is all you need. You can also download it off the LCS website, go to Activities, Post-Life Emergency Planning, click it. It prints in large print, which is very nice. It prints 16 pages instead of the little booklet, but you help LCS out if you can print your own forms. This explains how to die in Mexico. And even if your friends are here part-time, you need to know this for them too, not just for us. It's a roadmap. Have you ever gone somewhere and not known where you're going? Well, once in a while. And sometimes it's fun, and sometimes you never get there. Right? So this is a roadmap. This has my new eyes. Okay. Did I mess up my speaker? Okay. This has what a notario publica is. That's an important thing. You can't do any of these legal documents in Mexico without having a notario. A notario is a lawyer who has 5 years of experience plus extra education. It's not like a notary public in the North. This is a person who's really important, who knows what to do. The document that I have is in Spanish and English. So it's a template. They can print it both ways. So the people that you have who need to know these things know what you've chosen. Okay. The Mexican Healthcare Directive. A healthcare directive anywhere is so important. Because if you become incapacitated, and we all know someone who had something unexpected happen, and a friend had to be there, right? That's a very important person in your life, the person you choose to be your healthcare directive person. And it's something you've got to contemplate. You have to trust them to make the decisions you want if you're in a critical condition. And again, everybody's managing a crisis. Nobody's thinking about really the past. You're in the moment. You're in the crisis. How many of you have had to do that? Crisis management, really uncomfortable. So when you look at your Mexican Healthcare Directive, which also needs a notario, it can be part of your will and estate planning, usually is. A Mexican will. If you own property here, you need to have a Mexican will, and you might want to have a will in the North too. And it's not that expensive to make a will here. The Post-Life Emergency Registry, it costs you 50 pesos to register the form, and I'll go over the forms shortly. This booklet includes basic information on what all these things are and what they need. There's a list of local notarios, funeral homes, and other resources, and talk to your friends. What services have they used? What success have they had with maybe other notarios than the ones that are listed here? Facebook. I mean, I get so much off of Facebook and friends who've seen things on Facebook. We have a community. You know, in the country of Bhutan, they believe that if you contemplate death 5 times a day, you will be happy. And Bhutan is constantly at the top of the list of happiest countries. Because contemplating death makes you appreciate life. Gives us pause for a minute and say, why am I complaining about the bugs in my house or the stuff on the street? I'm here. This is amazing. And since I had my cataracts removed, everything is more colorful. How many of you have had cataract surgery? They do $4 million a year in the States. I mean, I woke up and went, oh my God, the world's around. And then I looked in the mirror and I went, oh my God. So, who is that? Now, I'm going to wear glasses because I don't even look like me. Bionics, we're bionics. And funeral homes. Here, if you die, you need to be buried, processed within 24 hours. Yeah, embalming here is not the standard process. They only embalm if you're going to ship a body elsewhere. So basically, things move very quickly here, and it's important to have a relationship with a doctor, because the doctor signs the death certificate, and have a relationship with a funeral home. And there are a number of them listed in here. Go have a conversation. Again, it's just making friends with the inevitable. Remove some of that fear that we get when we think, ooh, I need to do that, right? How many times do you have to say, I need to do that? Just do it. Sorry, I didn't mean to get that excited, but I got excited. Okay, there is first steps to follow when encountering the deceased. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's something we all need to know. We're a small community here, and we have some very special friends. You know, I've got, some of them are here today, some of mine. And sometimes I allow myself to look at someone I'm with that I care about and be aware that one of us is going to be the first to die and one will be the last. And I want to be prepared for both of those parts of the relationship. And then I get back in the moment and have fun. Go, wow, I'm right here now. I'm going to go to lunch today with a friend. It's a valuable process, and it does build relief. You'll see, promise me you're going to do that. Yes, yes, yes. Really, you won't get that nervous hair raising so much. There's even a page in French for Canadian citizens. LCS helps us. And then, of course, there's in English for Canadian citizens and a whole bunch for American citizens. And Google around, there's more. The consulates get involved if someone gets into an accident or trouble. So the booklet, free. We're passing some out today, 1 per household, downloaded off the LCS website, save them money and ink. And it comes with these 2-page forms, okay? Hard to be funny about 2-page forms. Who's like this? I feel like a person. Ah. I noticed too, I can't get up from a seat anymore without going, ah. It's so fun though. It's like being in touch with my body. Okay, the booklet comes with this form. It's called LCS Post-Life/Emergency Registry. If you download it, it comes out like this. Smaller print, okay? A woman named Mary Ann O'Halloran has been entering the information on these for a decade. It's confidential. It goes into a program. These are destroyed. And there's no financial information on these at all. You can fill it out in part and register it by dropping it off at the office or putting it in an envelope and slipping it through the mailbox with post-life document on it, and it will get to Mary Ann. If you have questions I'm unable to answer today or don't have time to, contact Mary Ann at LCS. She's here full time, except she's going on vacation next week. We wish her luck. She's going to Vegas. The first thing it asks for is really easy. What's your name? Come on. This will take you max 15 minutes to complete. If you have all the other things done. What's your name? Really easy. Date of birth, place of birth, family names, little health information, because if something does happen to one of us, the emergency services and the authorities contact LCS right away. We have an expat here, we have a beige person here, and we want to know if you have any information on them. Because sometimes we're out alone, and I don't have family here. You know, the people that have known me all my life are not here. My new family of friends is here, right? And it's so easy to make friends here. I love that about living here. So you want to give them some basic information on your health, who your physician is, who has your healthcare directive. So if you haven't done this and you want to get registered, you haven't got the healthcare directive yet, you've got to have a physician here. The legal information on the back, who your attorney is, your notario, your executor, who's got your last will and testament. I cannot tell you how many times I've given a workshop and said to people, Where's your will? Oh, it's locked up in the safe. That's not going to help anybody. Where's your health care document? Oh, I'm not sure where it is. Well, that's not going to help you. It's very important to keep copies of these and put them somewhere they can be easily found and tell someone where they are. Now, I have a plastic box and I've got papers on it. And I took a picture of it and I sent it to the people that are going to need to get my papers in an emergency, so they know where it is. I mean, I've been on the receiving end of this kind of trouble. It's exhausting, just exhausting. And you're sad already. And I've had people say, well, I'm not going to be here, it doesn't matter. Like my friend with her brother's ashes, I don't care what they do with me. Well, somebody does care, and there is a process. And those of us left behind are going to be really sad that you went away. So just help us. Make it easier. And make it easier on the authorities here. Household. How many of us have housekeepers, gardeners? Right. Put their names down. You have a pet? How many of you have pets? Yeah. Studies have shown people who have pets have more longevity, more easy. I adopted a dog in December against my better judgment, but I fell in love. You know, when you fall in love, what happens? Some people have 5 dogs. I fell in love, and I realized really early on that one of us is going to die first. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to outlive Paco for sure. And one day I am going to have to release him from suffering. It's my job. It's part of the contract I made when I kept him. One day I'll be at the vet. Or maybe I'll get the vet at the house, but that's my promise to him, that I won't allow him to suffer. And then what if I die first? I've got to find him a good home, and I got a friend who offered to take him in the event. Peace of mind, taking care of all of our business. You know, not easy. Got to think about these things. But it's such a relief. Oh my, people, I know this. You'll be so relieved when you get it all done. Okay, more time. I love more time. So that's easy. Download it, print it, pick it up on your way out. Talk to Marianne O'Halloran. In case of emergency, are you carrying a little card in your wallet? No? Yeah. Mine has both my USA important contacts. There are 4 of them, my doctor, a family, my niece, and my power of attorney and the backup in Chicago. And for here, the doctor and the 2 friends who have powers of attorney here. It's always with me. If I'm out walking the dog, I have one in my fanny pack and one in my purse. It just makes me feel at ease when just peace of mind. That's our job now. You know, we Olympians of aging are role models. We left wherever we started because we wanted to embrace life in a different way. We wanted to spend our retirements comfortable, economically more at ease. We wanted to go to a place where there were others of us that we could bond with, and we found this place. We have a quality of life that is so much higher than the average, don't you think? Well, we have friends all over that don't have the ease of living and the entertainment and the joys that we get here and the new friends we can make. Got to appreciate that and really dwell in it. And there's no question we're going to hit big bumps along the way. Not the kind you trip over, the kind that really stop us. And the more prepared we are, the easier and the softer those bumps will feel. And we'll be in it together. That's the best part of it. That is really, truly the best part of it. Together, here we are. Okay, so how this works. You fill out the form, and let's say you only get half of it done because you're not ready to go to a notario, or you're not ready to choose a power of attorney for health care. Register as much as you can, pay the 50 pesos, and then there's a second form called the update. If you like the absent-minded professor here. If you get the update from the office, it looks like this. And that alerts them it's an update. Update. If you download it, it looks just like the first form, except on the top of it, I need a bigger table. Just except on the top of it, it says update, okay? 2 pages printed at home, put your name on the second page. They really didn't have room to put a name line on it. So you can update, I just changed doctors. All I have to do is fill out the top, my name, put the new doctor, drop it off for Mary Ann. Very simple. And it just reminds me again, oh yeah, this is good. I'm gonna go out to lunch. I'm gonna have that second glass of wine. I can do it. My quality of life. Again, the authorities will contact LCS first. And if you're with someone, I don't know this information from my good friends. I don't know who their family contact is. I don't know any of this. I would have to hope that they filled out an LCS form so that I could help be supportive in a time of crisis. So it's benefiting to all of us. I moved here permanently. I bought a house, I got a dog, and I got a boyfriend this year. It's like, I know, thank you. And he's Canadian, so he's here in the winter. And we're old friends, it just changed. And I went to visit him a couple weeks ago, and he drove me around to all the places that are important in his life, including the cemetery where his parents are buried. And we sat on because he knew I was going to I love cemeteries. And we sat on a bench, and just, again, I let that moment arise that one of us is going to take care of the other one at the end of their life and say goodbye, release them from their suffering. And it made everything, just that moment, so delicious that we were together. And then he got up and he laid down under his parents' stone and said, take a picture of me, I'm going to send it to my brother and say, this is where I'll be in 20 years. And I just got into that 20 years, wow, who knows? But it was really an interesting experience, and I'm smiling all the time. Not just because I have a boyfriend, but because I'm here. And got to be in the moment. A friend of mine who just moved into an assisted living place said that she felt she was between her past and her future. And I said, being in the present is a really good place to be. Because we don't know. It's all just so uncertain. I want to encourage you to look at all of this as an adventure, not a burden. And when we change our perception of things, like when my cataracts were gone, I'm perceiving things differently. They're not different. They're all the same colors you were before. Everything is the same color. My feet are the same size and they look smaller. I don't get that, but they do look smaller. My shoes look small, what fun. You know, how we perceive things, and if we start to perceive the end of our life as a time of our life that's got a lot of meaning and value, and how we can use it as a teaching experience for others, and how we can improve the likelihood that we have a good death, whatever that is for us, whatever it is for you. Good death is different for different people. Now, I know someone for whom a good death is listening to country and Western music all the time, and having people pray over them, and being in a not so quiet place, and they don't care about massage, they don't want to be touched. No, that's not my good death. I want my hands and feet massaged, I want classical music on, I want lipstick on, I want to be comfortable, I don't want people around me being sad. I want people to say, oh my God, she's going home, wherever that is. I want to have, if I know I'm dying and I hope I get to know, I want to have a party. I'd rather do that than not be at my farewell. I'd kind of like to do that, be able to give things away. I have a friend who just turned 100. This happened about 30 years ago. Yeah, she's living in assisted living and actually pretty good, sharp enough. And I went to visit her, she had just moved, and I admired a picture on the wall. And she said, oh, you can have it when the time comes. WTTC, they had a family joke, when the time comes. And she took it, and I didn't like it that much. I was only being polite. And she took it off the wall, and I said, oh, no, that's okay, Pauline, that's okay. She said, no, really, I'll put your name on it. And she pulled a sticker out of a drawer and wrote and turned the picture around, and it had someone's name on it already. And I said, oh, that's okay, because I really didn't want it. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. She said, oh, no, darling, don't you worry. We're not speaking anymore. Slap my name on top of that sticker. So you can change your mind. As we grow, we do. We think of life in different ways as you know that. We got this far. You know, breakfast for me used to be a cigarette and a cup of coffee. And today it was granola and blueberries and almond milk. We change. And this is all part of it. I want to close with a poem from Mary Oliver. Oh, I have 10 more minutes. I can keep going? Oh, how exciting. Okay. Oh, yes. Important. Don't leave here silently. Talk about this. Get a group of friends and sit down, get the forms and say, let's see what this is all about. I mean, there's a lot of information in the booklet that even on rereading, I picked up a few things I didn't remember. You know, the remembering changes too. Sit down with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 friends. Start a book club. There's some great books now about preparing for dying. Entertaining and spiritual. Go to your faith community and say, let's start a death cafe. Let's have an event where we all sit around and talk about dying. You'd be amazed what comes out. Workshops, groups of friends. Yeah, conversations. Again, it's the Bhutan thing, 5 times a day. Wake up and think about, oh my God, what if this is my last day? How many people wake up and don't know it's the day they're going to die? Wouldn't that shift how you go through the day? What you let aggravate you? Oh my God. I'm Italian and German, and a lot of things aggravate me. And I am amazed as I'm going along how much I'm able to let go of. Because the letting go is a practice. You know, like I said, I just moved here. I let go of almost everything I owned. Almost everything I'd collected. I don't even want to cry. That's great. Because I was crying when I talked about it. I mean, collected from travels all over the world. You know, and I did bring a bunch of little treasures and I don't have anywhere to put. But, you know, just this letting go. Because one day, if we can't let go of the little stuff in our lives, how are we going to let go of a loved one or ourselves? I mean, if you can't clean out your garage and your drawers, you know, with the stuff you haven't touched in 10 years, when it gets down to the bottom, and don't say I'll leave it for the kids to do. That's not fair. Yeah. I mean, start giving things away now. Put stickers, I mean, that also is part of the process of facing mortality. Anytime you take direct action to touch your own mortality, you grow. Anytime you take direct action to be mindful of the fact that someone you love the most or a lot may not be there one day, you grow. And in all this growth, you wind up with greater peace. And this tool, for those of us who live here, even part-time, this wonderful tool is an amazing roadmap. I'm going to say that word again, a roadmap for traveling. So now I'm going to leave you with a poem from Mary Oliver. You know Mary Oliver? Wonderful poems. This is called When Death Comes. When it's over, I want to say all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom, taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. Thank you. Just do it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.